What it do, world? Welcome back to the Carve Daily Podcast. And I go by the name of Kevin, Kevin, Kev Magic. Yo, there's a lot of AKAs out here. But I'm out here not riding solo with Chang Li herself, Street Fighter Queen or what? But you're not a Street Fighter, but yeah.
Today I was street fighting a mouse. Like, honestly, I was literally on top of my bed. So yeah, Luska Magala, if it sounds like music voice Yaga has checked out or something because I was screaming and all these things. But fortunately, Vazi came through to the rescue. And yes, that's why I'm here today. I'm Sadapa Maifadi and welcome to the Carve Daily Podcast. We have 2 drops today, like people we're going to interview because they dropped their music on Friday. And you know, these are people that are signed under Sony, South African musicians that are really doing the most within the hip-hop space. So I guess we're going to bring back that topic once again, that hip-hop is far from being dead, you know, still very much alive. People are still doing the most, dropping proper hits out here. But obviously we have to talk about Certified Lover Boy because that's a big one for me because Aubrey finally dropped and I feel like I enjoyed so many tracks in there. How was it for you?
Definitely. Okay, so me, I loved it. But I kind of compared it to his previous work as well. You know, like if you listen to the remorse sounds like Last for Life on So Far Gone. Mm-hmm. Like the productions are similar. So some also complain that it sounds like a cut and paste. And the album is Drake, basically. It's nothing wow. It's nothing, you know, it's not something we didn't expect from him. But the fact that it's a dope album, but for it to enter my top 3 Drake classic albums, I still need to go through it again.
What do you mean it's nothing wow? Like, you know, I know you're joking.
You wanna tell me that it's in the top 3?
I mean,
you wanna tell me that it's better than Nothing Was the Same?
No, nothing is better than that.
You wanna tell me that it's better than So Far Gone?
No.
Take Care. If you're reading this, it's too late. Like thing is, in terms of as much as we are fans of Aubrey and Dre, like Drizzy, I love Drizzy. You know, people know that like when he drops, like I'm crazy. Do you understand? I'm like a kid in a toy store. But we also have to criticize him if the work that he dropped, you know, is not, you know, according to the level that we know. And again, I'm not saying it's a work album. It's a dope ass album. It's a fucking dope album.
Okay.
Language. Sorry. It's a dope album. It's a dope album. Nah. So, as I said, it's a dope album. I just hate the cover. If
you were to compare it with Donda.
Okay, so 2 different perspective there. So to compare it with Donda, Donda is an amazing album. It's Kanye's best work in many years, meaning that between the two, these are 2 different artists, but they're also competing against each other. Mm-hmm. But on Drizzy's side, most of his jabs and his lines were targeting Kanye. Kanye, on the other hand, was not rapping about Drake and whoever is hating. So spiritually, Kanye is in a different league than Drake. And somebody also mentioned that I was watching the Brilliant Idiots podcast, Charlamagne the God's podcast. Mm-hmm. So they spoke about, do you think these 2 guys envy each other? You know, whereby I also kind of disagree, but they also raise solid points to a point where Drake is like this towards Kanye because he grew up looking up to Kanye. You know, his sound changed because of Heartbreak and 808s from Kanye, you know, Graduation, you know, Kanye's classic albums. And for the fact that Kanye has become this person whereby he's not somebody that he recognized in the game. So on Kanye's side, Kanye has achieved more than Drake musically. His projects and the way he's experimenting with the music, he's not scared of going, over the line. He's never safe. It's something that with Kanye, we never expect the same thing with Kanye.
Do you think Drake was safe for these tracks?
Yes, he was. He came in safe. He didn't want to do much. He just came in safe.
If it's not Kanye, broken, don't fix it. There was
if it's not broken,
and that's what we wanted. To be honest with you, I wanted his classics. I wanted his classic sound. I wanted to hear him being the Aubrey that I know. He sing trap, extreme trap, and all those other things. It worked for me. It felt like, okay, it's a good album. And the good thing is that he used South Africans within the music to produce, and we obviously know that there is Trezor also in there, and that's like a win for us. That's what we want.
That was a huge win. I was like, my God. Mm-hmm. Come on now. Come on. I'm like, he's been having in the past 2.5 to 3 years, mm-hmm. he's been having an amazing run. We have to give it to him. We have to give it to Fifth Season, the team there. He's been having an amazing run. And as a producer, to work with Drake and Thames as well. Because mm-hmm. Thames, as an African artist, Nigeria, yep. Mm-hmm. Child is going in. And
even those Billboard kind of announcements, they were just so great. I think it was such a simple method to promote his album. He didn't overdo it. We didn't have to wait for long. We didn't have to go through hoops and all those other things
we basically waited for long because the album was supposed to drop in January.
Yeah, that's why listening sessions a million and the wait. No,
that's why there's a difference between the two artists. People are still having the conversation between how many classic albums or how many albums that are classic that Drake has. People are still having that conversation. With Kanye, it's a different conversation. You can name those classics top of your head. So with Drake, he's still young, he's still going through whatever, but what I'm happy about is that hip-hop has actually had an amazing year. Mm-hmm. Internationally, it has an amazing year. No, the album cover, I don't like those, but people, when they define it, is because it's 9 months pregnant because it was delayed, hence the pregnant emojis on the cover. So that was stated by one of the guys from his team, and they kind of defined it that way. So as I said, hip hop has had an amazing year internationally. The drops that we wanted, even the rollout of the albums, the rollout. It's effort for the fact that he has billboards in each and every city where he featured those artists. Kanye, his shows as well, selling out and making money from selling merchandise and
do you
giving
think he
fans.
Surpassed? Do you think that Drake will surpass the stats that Kanye currently holds?
Already.
What if he did?
Yes, he broke his own record on Spotify. The only comparisons was between the first 48 hours. So Kanye first 48 hours was slightly lower than Drake's. Drake on the second 24 hours was lower than Kanye. So the first 48 hours, they kind of had an almost similar number when they look at the numbers, because Kanye currently has the biggest, he's number one. He has his 10th number one, and he's the highest selling hip hop artist first week there is, because we know Drake is about to change that next couple of days. So he has the first week sales for the year hip hop wise. So you can imagine that these two guys, they going in. Nas dropped, he had number one on iTunes, but compared to the numbers, Also J. Cole didn't have bad numbers, but Kanye and Drake has shifted anything. And
Did
the other
you see
thing
how
is that
other
they
musicians were using their own the same artwork to promote themselves, like what Barkemang AKA did.
Touchline. Yeah, AKA Touchline dropped his freestyle. Also the AKA joint is nice. But the fact that he made sure that he drops the same day as Drake and run with the Drake, hashtag and all those things, which is pretty dope. But I don't think he made enough noise. It will definitely catch up because the song is quite nice. The song is quite dope. For 2 weeks in a row, him and Costa gave us songs. First it was AKA and Costa, and now Costa and AKA. And the whole debate around hip hop being dead in South Africa, they're also going back and forth, in that regard. Because
to show that hip hop is really not dying in South Africa, we have a guest that we know has been part of the South African hip hop community for the longest of time, and has continued to drop hit after hit after hit. We continue to see him doing the most. He's also dropped a track this past Friday. It's called Jukebox, which features Moozlie, and he has an upcoming album, a body of work that's coming out called The Father of Zen. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a whole 13-track offering that's coming to showcase the amazingness of what he has. But right now we are going to speak to him. Hi Kidix, how you doing? Okay. Is he on? Can you hear us? Okay, I think he's still joining, but we've seen him do a lot of amazing things throughout the game. And to showcase that hip hop is not dying, and not everyone wants to jump out of the categories or the genres that they're in and jumping into a different sound. Some people are happily in hip hop and doing the most, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's kept his own way of music. He's kept his own sound. Baby sang dust.
Yes,
he's kept his own sound, and there's no dusting, and he has grown with it. So he's out here, he's in here, he's still connecting. It says audio connecting, and we have Kidex in the building.
Hi Kidex, how you doing?
How are you guys?
We're good. We want to know how you're doing.
I'm well, thank you. So sorry for making you guys wait. My computer was just a bit slow there.
Yeah, tega. Did you hear the intro though?
I didn't. I missed it.
Okay, let's do that one again. So today we have a really amazing artist. His name, who goes by the name of Kidex. We don't have to introduce him because you guys already know him. He's been doing the most within the hip hop community, and we continue to demystify this whole thing that hip hop in South Africa is dead because of the rise of Amapiano, because people are still continuing to do music within their genre. And he's dropped a track called Jukebox featuring Moozlie, and he has a next project coming up that is basically, this track is a prelude to what we can expect. And he's with us today to chop it up with us and tell us more about this project and what's more to come. So Kidex, thank you so much for agreeing to join us today. We can't wait to hear Dintanga Jukebox. Ke eng Jukebox?
You know what? I love that intro. I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. It's funny that you said you're introducing someone who doesn't need to be introduced, you know what I mean?
But I'm still introducing.
In the intro. That's crazy. Yeah. So the Jukebox is my latest single. It's coming off the album, like you said, Father of Zen, which is expected to drop 1st of October 2021. Very exciting. For me, I felt like this single is the perfect single to bust out with, simply because of the season that we currently find ourselves in. I wanted to give people something with just a dope energy, exciting, something that could move the crowd, you know what I mean? Something lighthearted too. South Africans love partying. Like, we have a very extensive, deep party culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to really just tap into that and ease people into the project, which also has its moment, but it's obviously got quite a bit of meat, but you sort of want to ease people into it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to come out the gate with very thought-provoking music. I wanted people to sort of relax and get into the groove of things before we actually unpack the real content of the album.
Clearly, Moozlie is a firm favorite for you because, I mean, this is the third track you get to drop with her. Why her again?
Yeah, so me and Moose have a very good understanding. We have very good rapport in terms of the music that we make, you know what I mean? I believe third time lucky for me. Just a lot of things happen in threes where I'm from, you know what I mean? And the third time is always like the sweet spot. So with this particular record, it's a very South African sounding, very gassy flavored type of tune. And while I was putting it together, I felt like there's a lot of testosterone on it, you know what I mean? And I felt like I need to sort of just soften the song and give it like Eddie high pitch nyan. You know what I mean?
Great female energy.
A great female energy. And when I was looking around, for me, I felt like she was the perfect fit simply because her brand really represents like a gassy chick who strives to really like make it big, and she's very outspoken, very out there, and likes looking fresh and fly, and has like a very clean brand. So that totally like was a perfect fit for me for the song. And yeah, it made sense to get her on the song. And when I sent it to her, she was also just very excited about the record, and she did her thing, man. She totally like bodied the song and took it to another level. So that's pretty dope.
And I mean, you took off as some sort of Zen for your next project because it's called the Father of Zen, but then there's Jukebox, which is a kind of like somewhat of a turn-up hit. How do those elements come together into one project?
Just repeat your last sentence. I didn't quite catch it.
I was asking how those elements come together into one project, like the whole Zen element and the party track that you are dropping to introduce what's to come.
Yeah. So the best way to put it is this, right? You can only find peace. Okay, if you're gonna search for peace, you need to be coming from a place of, or you need to be coming from chaos. You know what I mean? Like your initial starting point would be chaos, or what, like a place that
of some sort.
Disruption. So the project has a very push and pull relationship between chaos and order, and it shifts from those elements. It shifts from a very well put together song that sort of really relaxes you and calms you down to like havoc, the very next song. You know what I mean? And for me, it was important to really tap into both extremes of those states of beings, simply because I don't believe a practice of like Zen is strictly about now finding your peace, and now you've found your peace and that's you off on your way and your life is perfectly fine. You're not gonna experience anything after that. I think it's about finding your peace and then realizing that you need to also have a sort of balance, because then right around the corner you could find a situation that potentially disrupts your peace, and then you sort of need to be able to know how to navigate that so you can get back to a place of peace.
And to add on that, you sounded like a married man. So you should have just said, nah, I just transitioned from this to being a father to being a dad. Simple, because, your sound has matured, and it has matured with the human being that you are, as well as the way you're answering these questions. You're at a point whereby, as much as you've been taking your career seriously, you're at a point whereby you're comfortable. You're done, proving your point that, you are this YFM freestyle rapper from, Ekasi, young, playing soccer and all these processes. So as human beings, we transition, we grow, and we become, people that we've always dreamed of. So I really, congratulate you on that part, because the single itself as well, it's definitely a single for the season that we are in. And I just want to ask you this. How's the rollout been like for you? How's people receiving it so far?
Thank you, Kev, firstly, for that wonderful answer. I think you should have answered the previous question for me.
I was about to ask her how I'm
That's epic. I like it. Yeah, so I think people have received the new music pretty well, actually. I was a bit skeptical when I put it out, because we're so deep in this amapiano culture. And even if you look at like hip-hop releases, a lot of them are trying to really like marry the two sounds just for the sake of surviving the times, you know what I mean? So for me, I felt like what is fitting for me to do right now is to come out with a sound that I feel like I'm really at home with, because I wanted my starting point to be a familiar thing, so that I can sort of tap into everyone who knows me for what they know me for, and then the journey begins from there. And as we unroll the album and we roll out more singles, it's gonna be a journey, man. It's not just gonna be limited to the one sound that you heard. We're gonna explore a lot of sounds, because personally, I myself am someone who like enjoys music from different corners of the world, different genres, and I mean that for me is what I represent. So in the music that I make, I try and capture that, and what ties all my different sounds together. Because normally I think people expect to go into an album and they expect to have like a specific sound that sort of like carries the album, you know what I mean? They don't want to explore like a thread, you know what I mean? So for me personally, the thread in my music is the story and not so much the sound. So so I'm pretty excited about just what's to come, man. I'm pretty excited about where we are as well, you know what I mean? I was actually watching the final version of the Jukebox video today, and I signed off on that. I turned it into to Sony, so that should be coming out anytime soon. So I'm pretty excited for people to just really receive Jukebox in all of its flavor at this point.
And here you talk about healing, awareness, and mindfulness. Is that like somewhat of a journey that you went through in the process, or what made you want to document that part of life, or talk about that specific content?
Yeah, so 5 years ago, I got introduced to meditation, right? And it found me at a time where I was really struggling to get out of my head. Like I would struggle to be present in like life situations. And a lot of that stemmed from the fact that my creative process from like about 2009 until that point involved me like writing in my head. So I never wrote anything on paper, nothing. Everything was just happening in my head. And fast forward 7 years later, I felt like I was struggling to really function as a human being. Like I couldn't it felt like a blocked toilet and I couldn't flush it. You know what I mean? So I obviously then made a decision to obviously stop writing in my head and try and fix that entire situation. And I went back to actually writing my lyrics down on paper and so forth. So with exploring now things like meditation and mindfulness and the entire rabbit hole that I went down, it really allowed me to come back to myself. And I mean, now I feel like even more importantly, because of the fact that we also find ourselves in a world pandemic, I felt like things like mental health are like a very real thing that is like affecting people. Like I can imagine if like this pandemic found me at a time where I was still like struggling to get out of my head. I think, you know what I mean? It could have ended terribly for me. So I think the message itself is more important today than it's ever been. I think people really need like a ray of light, a ray of sunlight. They need to understand that first of all, living in your head is not necessarily the reality that you need to subject yourself to, because you end up coming to conclusions that unfortunately are the worst case scenario, like a lot of the time, you know what I mean? And I think those are important conversations that I wanted us to have, like as hip hop, because if you look at the narrative of hip hop, it's very toxic. Like the toxic everything is what is cool right now. Yes. You know what I mean? And when you fast forward that, if you scale it up and you say 10 years from now, how is society looking? Because the music that we make is like a soundtrack that sort of dictates a lifestyle, and it sort of pushes people toward a specific direction. Now, if we upscale that, 10 years from now, society is a mess. I mean, society is a mess today. It's like a today. And for me, I'm very aware that the music that we make has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? So I just felt like we needed to just tap into some of those what can I call them? Nuances, and really like just speak about the things that we really experiencing, because everyone is suffering. Like everyone is suffering. And sometimes when I listen to music, and because I listen to music with not too much of a judgmental ear of trying to figure out is this a good song or is this a bad song? I listen to music to try and understand the expression. And a lot of the time, because we're in a pandemic, whether people say it or not, I understand that everyone is suffering. Now, if you listen to a song and you try and understand what is this person suffering from, then it really hits you different. You connect differently to the music and to the artist.
Yeah, no, so this is really a different KidX, eh? Do you see yourself changing your name into something else? Because I said kid, you know.
What do you think it is?
I said kid. The kid is gone. You have to go change your name.
I think I'll let the people figure out what to call me at this point. But I think it is Kid X for me. You know what I mean? Because we still have to define the X, and that X could mean anything at this point. So I think we're getting closer to the meaning of X at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, this is such a refreshing interview.
It is. And I can also suggest a book that, unless you have read it before, you know, it's written by a South African called Moozlie Becoming Men. So it speaks about,
what is the book called?
Becoming Men.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't wait till you drop this album. Like, I really cannot wait. And the mindset that you're in currently, it's something that is needed. It's the mindset that is needed in hip hop. And I pray that you're also documenting the whole process, because just imagine us, Richita Rakosta Kiniko, watching the documentary of the Father of Zen and how everything is laid out. I really like this is what I see. And you don't even need to go to a Star Kiniko. This is me just giving ideas to make sure that this album comes out the way I see it.
Hit up Tula now, brother.
Dangerous.
I'm coming from, when you follow somebody's journey, Kid X's music from how he started. Like, I was actually bumping 3/4 pace last week before even Cats told me that we're gonna be speaking to you this week. So you can see that the fact that he's also writing his music down, because when you write on paper, you manifest things. That's why we journal our everything nowadays. So this is a process. This is a journey. We get into the X right now. And I'm just here to hype it up. Someday.
Yeah, at this point, since of a cheerleader, the Father of Zen. But this is how we have to wrap it, because he can go on for way longer. And it's about Tomo of Remba. So we're trying to avoid that. X, when do you think that music video is coming out? How many days does it take to be approved? And when can we expect to see it on that spanking new?
Yeah, so according to my convo with the label, they're telling me that it takes about 10 days to like be integrated into the TV space, and also with uploading it to Vivo, it's another 10 working days. So I'm hoping by like late next week, the video should be on our TV screens latest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we definitely can't wait for that. And guys, don't forget the 1st of October. We hope he doesn't make us wait like all the releases that have made us wait for such a long time. So yeah, the 1st of October, the 13-track offering by Kid X called Father of Zen will be hitting all digital streaming platforms. The single Jukebox is already out. You can go check it out. And, you can stream that. The video is going to be out soon. So you definitely don't want to miss that. We had a great motivational conversation with Kid X. And thank you so much for joining us on today's show.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the platform as well. I wish we could do this for longer.
We will.
Because
when God wants October, us again.
Yeah, guys, please, so we can have like a deep dive on it. You know what I mean?
God, we're sitting down with you, cameras and everything. We're having conversation.
That's for sure.
That's my kind of party. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Have yourself a great evening.
Likewise, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Well, that was Kid X, everyone. You have to go listen to his single Jukebox. It's doing the most in the streets. Already came out this past Friday. It features no Moozlie. You don't want to miss it. The music video is coming out in 10 to 20 days. We will, keep our eyes on it so that we can see what he means by showcasing that Jukebox and what we can expect from the Father of Zen, and seeing his relationship come to life, seeing him showcase his fatherhood in that project. 1st of October, all that greatness coming our way. That was a great motivational interview, right, Gil?
Yes,
did you expect
like
that?
I said, I didn't. I didn't, and we at a time whereby I feel like we know what we chase.
People are being intentional with what they are doing.
Yes, and for the fact that he chose an album title where people are not going to expect that from him, and he's also giving us like his original sound, but it has elevated in how he delivers the sound as well. So shout out to Kid X. Thank you for joining us, bro. I am, wow. I can am a folk. Like
Before we say more, let's go drink water because we have another banging artist also from Sony who's going to come through and give us more fire. Let's quickly take a young water break. Everybody, we'll be back literally in 3 seconds. Now that's a water break that everyone needed. I mean, I took 3 seconds to go and breathe because it's again motivation overload. And I just think the next interview that we're going to have is just going to be as motivational. You know, when we have interviews on Carve, literally on Mondays, we dedicate it to music, and most other days it's always the same. But today it feels so much different, you know, and so thought-provoking, and it's literally become a motivational Monday. KidX came through with a lot of, you know, wisdom and openness. Like I'm so glad that people are open now to talking about mental health and, you know, just what they do to keep sane, and just talking about the honesty of the industry and, you know, how the hip-hop world has been and his personal experience of it. So that was really a good interview. I really enjoyed that. But I have more good news actually, because, you know, on Mondays we have Carve Monday. And this specific Monday, we have finally dropped our website. It's back again. We are no longer under construction. You can go and experience this, hit www.carve.africa, and you can find all the amazingness on the space. So we have our podcasts, we have our audio podcasts, we have our visual podcasts, we have all our videos, so the Groove Guide, we have all the press releases, all the updates that you would want from the drop, everything all packed nicely for you to go and enjoy. We have night and dark mode if that's your vibe. If you want to experience it in dark mode, do your thing. We cater for all of it. And yeah, just click through, like, subscribe, you know, be part of it. If you're on all our social media platforms, please follow us and, you know, engage with us. We can't wait to hear more of you. And yeah, that for me was like a good moment to finally say, yo, it's been three weeks of us being offline and always just saying every day, the site is coming. But finally today, for some reason, it was the perfect day. And because we didn't really pressurize ourselves too much, we got it to be the best that we think it can look like for now, you know, and we hope you enjoy it.
It's also very user-friendly, guys. You know,
it is
proper. Right. It's direct. It's soothing. You know, the fact that we've been speaking about this, like you said, and for it to be out here in the open for people, come through, guys. Subscribe. Come be covers, guys. Like, be a cover. We're all about Larato, creatives, edutainment. Don't fight the feeling. On a smartphone, because we have we really have dope content. You know, like I was my friend from Durban came through this weekend. Really? Shout out to Penyo. And we're just having a conversation about how they've been listening to the podcast, and they actually enjoy our conversations.
Really? You know, wow, that's nice to hear.
They enjoy our conversations because, you know, they know how I speak about you, especially, as well as, you know, our platform. And for us to be consistent and doing what we love without a gun pointed on our head or something.
It's not about the pressure. It's not about what other people are doing. You know, we're not looking at competition. We're not benching ourselves to anything. We're just setting up small goals and taking one step in front of the other and just keep moving. There's a lot of more great things coming. And, you know, we obviously don't want to give away everything. But as time goes, everybody's going to see this platform evolve into more things. So we can't wait to experience all that amazingness with you all.
Yeah, definitely.
Before X popped on, actually, you were telling me about Touchline. What's he up to?
No, he dropped a freestyle. I get you spoke about, you know, covers, Drake's album cover, local artists all over the world using, you know, Drake's hashtag that Certified Lover Boy is out, and then he just jumped. He's Mr. Freestyle. He jumped on one of the beats and he killed it. I think we should also have him back here again.
Oh, well, we always have him. He's family. He's
So he
family.
killed
He
it
can
with
be
that.
on any day, And yeah, we should have a freestyle Friday, and just get him on and get to hear what is popping on in that beautiful mind of his, because he's another artist that just always showcases the amazingness of South African hip hop, like that vernac flavor, and he's so relentless in keeping to that sound, and it's always a banger, he never goes wrong.
He never misses. I think it's one thing about all the artists right now. I love the fact that they take what they do very, very serious, and I also love the fact that the business side of things. Yeah,
people are getting woke now. Like, people are making sure they make the right decisions.
And again, South Africa is such a huge opportunity, because when I see the world right now, I see everyday people, parties in New York. Most of their playlist is Amapiano. The sound is just Amapiano. So for us to be, being taken notice, this is where it's happening. This is where the sound is.
This is where it's at.
This is where it's at. Book album Pela. Do you see Pela's performance?
But we're thinking, they have made London shake, eh?
Yeah, Devin Gogo, Casper, Focalistic. It was a movie. I was like, yo, guys, why niggas are tags?
Yo, it's thinking Rabalobo have a movie and continuously showcasing that, South Africans can continue to do the most. I don't know if Younger is coming, but I think maybe we should call it right here so that we can end it off on that motivational tip, because I don't know how long we can wait. But yeah, let's have him another day. What do you think?
Nah, it's all good. But before we go, I see Beautiful Day Productions.
Okay,
is
who's
having
that?
like a new. I think it's Mini Tlamini's production company.
Nice.
And it's having there's a new show coming up on Channel O. It's called On the O. So the show is basically about fans recording a 30-second clip about them presenting the show, or when there's an artist, a music video that's out, like a Kirex, Jukebox, you get to present. They give you that opportunity to do that. And you also get to explain what you do, in 30 seconds. So if you're a young creative, I don't see any age limit on it. So if you're a creative, want to be on TV, you want to have fun, who knows, doors might just open for you just like that.
You actually didn't give us an update on what happened at Big Zulu's album listening session / experience.
Okay, so last week was a crazy week. I mean, you were not in Joburg. You were living la vida loca.
Oh yeah, last week was crazy.
So I attended Big Zulu's listening album listening party or event, but also a huge partnership with Telkom
Music
and
Jukes,
Telkom
powered
Music
by Jukes.
and Jukes. Yes. So the whole thing was for Telkom to have some sort of platform to compete with the major streaming sites. And the fact that Telkom is giving opportunities to local artists like Big Zulu to do their thing, because his numbers are crazy. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Big Zulu currently as in the music space? So the whole it's gonna have like the first release was them releasing Big Zulu's 10 tracks, because it's a double disc kind of album, an A, B, or disc A or B. So the first tracks were released on Telkom Music and Jukes as well. for the fans to hear the sound, as well as the mini documentary they released under the making of the album.
Okay.
So the album is officially out on all platforms. It's a very hard name. It has the deep Zulu kind of meaning, but so I'm gonna try and say it. And I've been saying it proper. So it's Kanye Lenyoka. So when he Kanye Lenyoka. So when he broke it down, was Inyog is a snake, obviously, and obviously when people associate snakes and all that, they be like, yo, snakes are evil. But he broke it down to a point whereby he's hungry for more,
Oh, okay.
Because he's hungry for more, and this is his album. He's gonna make sure that he's gonna run with it, and I love the artwork of the album as well. There's a baby. There's obviously his face there. There's young cubs that are growing. So that's the process of the album. So one thing about album covers, please let them have meanings. Yes, I see Aubrey had babies, and I told you that it's 9 months pregnant. So shout out to Big Zulu, shout out to Telkom. I'm also gonna be editing the few clips that I took there.
Okay.
So I don't know if
we should be expecting some content to drop soon.
Yes, definitely. So I'm just gonna have my own fun with the goodie bag they gave me. There's a nice hoodie there. There's a nice cap. There's a nice squeeze bottle. Get unboxer and just speak about the album furthermore. Because when people, all these brands give Carve the platform to go do, and then we go there, we meet a lot of people that also want to work with Carve, because there's somebody from Jukes that wants to, work with Carve. Because I represent me.
Come on.
Bomb.
Another thing is that sports scene, now that we're on this tip, sports scene is back again with the Put Me On music competition. They announced this on the 3rd of September. And as you know, it's like people get to enter. We saw Trusted SLK win the 1 year last year. And, she had a track that was produced by Tweezy. And, there was even a music video for the track, We Are Teta. And, for anyone else who wants to get into the game and be part of this amazingness, they should, because part of this year's winner will get to walk away with 2 singles from a record deal with Def Jam Recordings Africa. It'll be produced by Zuchi Coke Dope. And there's going to be like a 6 months of PR and marketing support as well. And you get to walk away with 25,000 Rand cash and Puma merchandise worth 50K. I mean, is that a plug or what?
It is, because some people will look at the 25,000 and be like, but I would rather have
50K merch, 2 tracks done by Zuchi.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I would rather have
Def Jam Africa,
an experience with Zuchi, an experience with Def Jam, an experience like the knowledge you're gonna acquire from the whole experience.
Something we box.
And who knows, in that 6 months, if you put in the work, you do your own research. But Zuchi like that guy is too serious. He takes it. He's on a different league in terms of how he wants people to come work. If you're saying you come into studio at 10 a.m., you better be there at 10 a.m. Not even 10 a.m. 9:30. You must be there. Because he's one of the most talented producers in the game right now. And for the fact that he is in partnership with Sports Scene and Def Jam, that's a win. That's a win for producers to work with brands. Because I know Ganja Beats have been doing it for years, advertising. But to have Zuchi, and you get to win 25K, 50K worth of match.
Literally nobody. So please don't miss out on all that fun and that opportunity. Head out to our website, www.carve.africa. There's an article in there that's got the link and all the details that you need to be part of this. So yeah, do enter and find yourself being part of, the greats that are part of Def Jam Africa. And yeah, I think that's how we call it from today. For myself, Selapa Maifadi, I'm outie, guys. I still have to go sort out so I got to go.
Guys, it's all love. Subscribe. Don't forget our website is up. Carve Africa. We out here, guys. Have fun. Have an awesome week. Love and light your way.
Yeah, and when I'm younger,
Esvar. Love one,